Have you ever felt like your partner is controlling you, but you cannot figure out why? Maybe you feel anxious or guilty, or like you are constantly walking on eggshells. Perhaps friends or family have noticed it too, but you are unsure if it is real. Today, we are going to talk about manipulation in relationships and how to recognize it. By the end of this video, you will understand the signs of manipulation, the common tactics people use, and what you can do to protect yourself. Manipulation is not always obvious. Sometimes it is subtle and hard to see. Other times it is more obvious. Either way, it can damage your confidence and your emotional well-being. Recognizing manipulation is not about blaming yourself. It is about understanding the behavior so you can take steps to protect yourself and your mental health. Before we dive into the signs and tactics, it is important to remember that manipulation can happen to anyone. It is not a reflection of your strength or intelligence. Even strong, confident people can experience manipulation because manipulators are skilled at influencing others. The goal of this video is to help you recognize it and regain control of your life. Manipulation happens when someone tries to control your thoughts, feelings, or actions for their own benefit. Sometimes it is intentional, other times it is subtle and unconscious. Manipulators often use your emotions against you, making you feel guilty, anxious, or confused. They may twist your words or exaggerate events to get the outcome they want. For example, imagine you make plans to go out with friends, and your partner tells you they will be lonely if you leave. You might start feeling guilty and cancel your plans, even though you really wanted to go. This is manipulation because your feelings were influenced to serve someone else's needs rather than your own. Another example is when someone constantly changes the rules in a relationship. You might have agreed on something earlier, but later they tell you that agreement does not count anymore. This creates confusion and doubt, making it easier for them to control your decisions. Manipulation can be difficult to spot because manipulators are often charming or persuasive. They may say kind or loving things that mask their true intentions. That is why it is important to pay attention to how you feel. If you often feel anxious, guilty, or like you cannot make decisions without fear of repercussions, these are important signals. Manipulators use a variety of tactics to gain control. Let's break down the most common ones with examples so you can spot them in real life. Gaslighting is when someone makes you doubt your own memory, perception, or feelings. They may say things like, "You are overreacting," or "That never happened." For example, you remember a conversation clearly, but your partner insists you are imagining it. Over time, gaslighting can make you question everything you feel or remember. Imagine you caught your partner lying about something important. When you confront them, they deny it and insist you are paranoid. You may start questioning yourself and wondering if you are too sensitive. This is gaslighting, and it can slowly erode your confidence. Guilt tripping is when someone uses your sense of responsibility or care for them to control your actions. For example, your partner might say, "I guess you do not love me since you want to spend time with your friends." You might feel guilty and change your plans even though you have the right to enjoy your life. Another example is when someone reminds you repeatedly of past mistakes to make you comply with their wishes. This is emotional manipulation because it pressures you to act out of guilt rather than choice. Some manipulators play the victim to make you feel responsible for their emotions. For example, they may exaggerate struggles and imply it is your fault that they are unhappy. This can make you feel obligated to solve their problems constantly. Imagine your partner says, "If you really cared about me, you would fix this situation." Even though the problem is not your responsibility, you might feel trapped and guilty. Manipulators often use this tactic to shift blame and maintain control. Constant criticism undermines your confidence and makes you doubt yourself. This might be small comments about your appearance, choices, or habits repeated over time. You may start believing you are not good enough even when you are. For example, a partner might comment frequently on your clothing, your job, or how you spend money. The comments seem minor individually, but together they slowly chip away at your self-esteem. Isolation is when someone tries to separate you from friends, family, or your support system. They may complain about your friends or family, or make you feel guilty for spending time with them. This makes you dependent on the manipulator for emotional support. Imagine a partner who complains every time you want to meet a friend. They might say, "I do not like spending time with them," or "You care more about them than me." Over time, you may withdraw from others and rely solely on the manipulator, giving them more control. Some manipulators alternate between extreme attention and cold behavior. They might shower you with affection, gifts, and compliments one day, then ignore you or become distant the next. This creates confusion and makes you desperate for their approval. For example, they might plan a romantic evening, then later refuse to talk to you for hours or days. This pattern makes you feel insecure and anxious, constantly seeking their validation. Manipulation often starts subtly. Watch for red flags. Do you feel anxious around your partner? Do you second-guess yourself constantly? Do you feel guilty without reason? Do they twist your words, exaggerate your mistakes, or pressure you into decisions? For example, imagine you made a small mistake and your partner turns it into a huge issue. They might say everyone else would have done better or make you feel ashamed. Over time, these small patterns can add up and affect your confidence. Another warning sign is feeling isolated. You may start avoiding friends and family because your partner criticizes them or makes you feel guilty for spending time with them. Recognizing these early signs can help you act before the situation worsens. Take a moment and think about how you feel in your relationship. Do you notice any of these feelings or patterns? Acknowledging them is the first step toward change. Being manipulated can affect your mental and physical health. Anxiety and stress often appear first. You might feel tense or nervous around your partner. Low self-esteem can develop over time. You may start thinking you are not worthy or capable. Manipulation can also affect your sleep, focus, and physical health. Some people develop depression or chronic stress. Recognizing the effects of manipulation helps you understand that these feelings are not your fault and that help is available. For example, someone who is constantly criticized may begin doubting their career choices or friendships. They may feel drained emotionally and unable to enjoy activities they once loved. This is a natural response to manipulation. If you notice manipulation, here's what you can do. Set clear boundaries and stick to them. Trust your instincts when something feels wrong. Communicate openly about your feelings. Document patterns if necessary. Talk to trusted friends, family, or a professional for advice and support. For example, if your partner constantly criticizes your choices, calmly tell them it is not acceptable and explain your boundaries. Consistently reinforcing boundaries is important to prevent further manipulation. Another strategy is to pause before responding. When someone tries to guilt trip or pressure you, take a moment to reflect and decide if their request is reasonable. This helps you respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. Think about one boundary you can set today to protect yourself. Even a small step can make a difference. Sometimes recognizing manipulation is not enough. If the behavior persists and your well-being is at risk, it may be time to distance yourself or end the relationship. Protecting yourself is not selfish. it is essential. Healthy relationships are built on respect, trust, and communication. Surround yourself with people who lift you up and make you feel safe. Recognizing manipulation helps you seek better connections and stronger emotional health. For example, in a healthy relationship, conflicts are discussed calmly and solutions are reached together. Partners support each other without controlling or undermining one another. Now that you know how to recognize manipulation, pay attention to your feelings, trust your instincts, and protect your emotional space. Share this video with someone who might need it, and do not forget to subscribe for more insights on love, relationships, and personal empowerment. Remember, recognizing manipulation is the first step towards stronger, healthier relationships. You deserve to feel safe, confident, and respected in every connection you have. Relationships do not need perfection. They need patience, presence, playfulness, and care. Every choice you make, every small act of love, builds the connection between you and your partner. Love is not found. It is built one choice, one laugh, one thought at a time. What will you focus on today? Which small action can you do right now to strengthen your connection?